Well, welcome to Darksiders 3. It's Chaos.
Hi, did
I don't know what happened with my brain.
Did what her name from the Very Big Circus? Did she just join our group?
Hello. Hello.
I didn't make any words.
Regina.
I'm sorry. I just remembered a joke from. It wasn't a joke. It was an accident. Do you remember? And tell me if you don't want me to bring this up again. Oh no.
Are you kidding? I make fun of her that practically every other day.
Dude, literally every time. He's just like, oh no. I'm so glad. You looked at me with this smile and just said, oh no.
And I know. I embrace it.
I bet people listening are so confused.
We'll save the day. He will rescue the Princess Zelda.
Long story short, oh no has a whole other connotation.
When we were recording Phoenix Wright, I voiced both Maya and Regina Barry from the second game's third case. And their voices were so drastically different. And this is when we used a single microphone.
Yeah.
So my solution was, okay, I'm going to sit right next to the mic on the floor because we put it on a chair. Because it was a tiny little Samsung mic.
And Regina's voice, she couldn't say it the loudest.
No, so I had to be really close to the mic because it's like this. And oh my god.
Yeah. But then
Maya is my normal Maya. So I was constantly rocking back and forth.
It was a sight to see.
And I tooted. The face apparently I made. Because we got this on camera, damn it.
Well, we got half of it.
We got half of it.
We didn't get the oh no.
Oh, you didn't get the, oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of the lightsaber.
Yeah.
But
That lightsaber doesn't work
it happened
anymore.
since I'm right next to the fucking mic.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was pretty
Everything was just fine. Everything, I'm sorry, we linked to it. We linked to it, but if you want to hear it in action, please watch the episode. But to recreate it, Abby was rocking back and forth, and so she farted, and she just looked so scared. She was like, "Oh no!" Like just the quietest "oh no." And she looked directly at me, and I freaking lost it.
I think we lost it for a good 5-10 minutes there.
Yeah.
Just like, "Oh no!"
Oh no, Dave. Hey, honey.
Oh no.
It occurs to me that we're almost done with Darksiders 3, and we haven't had any closet wars.
It's true, but that's because I've been preoccupied with the war to destroy my hands.
That's fair.
I'm the war of the yards.
I still love that Death just stood there with his gun out the whole time.
That was honestly unintentional on my part, but
it
I'm
was
glad
perfect.
it worked out that way. So another thing for those who are new to our channel in Darksiders 2, there's an episode that's only 7 minutes long, but that's because half of it was Abby and Luke fighting. And I tried to do my best as I could in an audio format to try to recreate it with crappy props.
It was
Also,
the commentary.
the commentation you guys did was pretty funny too.
The sports commentary.
Oh, I'm glad. I was so worried. Because I was like, no one's going to know what's going on. So I felt me and Jesse, or at least me, I got Jesse to do it, but
Jesse just joined in.
We both felt like, well, we have to describe what's going on because no one knows what's happening.
It's an audio medium, not a visual one.
I love that it was my anger face, just the head anger face from the Donkey Kong playthrough versus Abby's channel sprite.
Yeah, because your channel sprite doesn't really
invoke anger.
Yeah.
Which is, I know there's a reason why I had you have me with a bunch of animals. For those who don't know, the animals are, there's an otter, which is one of my favorite animal, along with a killer whale, which is my second favorite animal. But then it has a pig, because I played Beyond Good and Evil and Paige was in that. A fox, because I kept getting killed by Foxy in Five Nights at Freddy's. A rabbit? I know I love rabbits, but I don't remember if there was a specific...
Oswald?
Yeah, and because I actually... For a while, I kept bringing my Oswald doll into some of the
That and also
recordings.
in Fantasia, the first game, there's a character named Oswald, and so you kept calling him a rabbit.
That's true. And then I'm trying to think of what other animals are in the picture. And then there's a monkey because I played Donkey Kong.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuffed animals because... Oh, and there's a horse because of Darksiders.
Yeah. Also, I collect stuffed animals, so it was appropriate.
Yeah. So I tried to do something that was appropriate to everyone. Jessie was more magic-based because she place. Wow.
Yeah, and it was
I know that
ears.
I had to make that suggestion because Flaze is like, I don't know what to do for you, because, I mean, even though Flaze has known me longer than Jesse, I've spent a lot less time with Flaze than Jesse has since they have sisters therapy.
Yeah. And...
Oh, fuck this section.
Oh yeah, this is where you were like screaming.
I was struggling with this section.
Do I want to know?
I have
Well,
an idea.
you want to know if you want to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You have to hit it, and then you have to switch to stasis so you can freeze the thing in place where you need to. Because you need to swing across here, but it never stops there. And timing is a bit of a bitch. Or maybe I'm doing that wrong entirely, and... Because I know I think you have to... The only thing you can target is, like, maybe the...
Can you jump to the side using the Wally climbs?
Now, that might be the other thing you have to do, and I don't remember if you can do this, because I struggled with this too. One other thing I tried is I tried grabbing onto the wall, or then hitting it and then grabbing onto the wall or something like that, and maybe jumping off. I don't remember if that worked or not, though. But I was here for a while. I hate this puzzle.
I wonder. Are you looking it up, Abby?
I'm looking up Oh No.
Oh, you're looking up Oh No. And there's stuff that we gotta watch after we're done recording. I'm so nostalgic about our own stuff. I don't know if that's bad or good, but... I mean, I'm proud of the stuff we do.
Here, do something for me real quick, Sunshine. Switch to stasis. Try hitting, like, the center beam or something to see if you can freeze it. I know you can. I've done it, but I just don't remember
what beam?
Oh, so you know where it spins? Like, just...
The center pole.
The center pole to see if you can freeze it or something. I don't know, like, because I'm pretty sure you can stasis lock this, but I just don't remember how. Because... Okay, yeah, it does happen. Okay, I'm good.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find
Or
anything.
maybe now if you switch and spin it and hit it, it'll start spinning once it unfreezes? It's unfrozen. But again, I'm gonna stop talking. I promised I'd stop backseat gaming, and I have not done so.
I'm gonna see what I can find. Where are we?
I actually don't know the name of this place.
I don't either.
The scar.
The Scar.
The Scar. Okay. Where do we find that? I don't know where we found that, apparently. Okay. But if they say it, must be true. The Scar. Finder puzzle.
Okay.
We did it!
Oh. I guess I don't have to look that up.
I think that lowers an elevator so you can come back. I think. I know there is something here that lets you create a shortcut to go back so you don't have to do that again. Maybe it's that switch on the ground.
There's no Nintendo system here on the ground.
Oh, so speaking of Nintendo Switch system, and since I was talking about art in the last episode, I was talking about this demon was carrying, like, a switch, a stick to beat, to spank someone with. Mm-hmm. She had never heard of that, so she thought I was saying, why is this giant demon holding a Nintendo product?
Oh. Oh, man.
Again, I'm not judging. I only know that term because Huckleberry Fin, I think, that I had reading, and not from the book, actually, now that I think about it. I think it was the movie. One of the movies. I think there have been several adaptations of that book. I mean, it's the classic and all that.
Oh. Okay.
That was some aggressive bitterness. Do we need to talk about this?
No, not really. I just...
How does Huckleberry Finn make you feel?
Honestly, Huckleberry Finn makes me feel indifferent, and honestly, as bad as the movie was, I would still watch it before reading the book because the black character is actually smart and snarky in the movie rather than being a little dumb like he was in the book.
A little dumb.
No, I mean, well... I'm just throwing this out there. When they're trying to break him out, Tom Sawyer drags the whole thing out because he thinks it's fun. And even if at one point, Jim is able to actually get out of the place he's being imprisoned, he goes back in because this dumb white kid tells him to. So I know that Huckleberry Finn has gotten controversial over the years because it hasn't aged well.
Oh, well,
in that
duh.
sense.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a whole, I do try to defend literature for time period. not necessarily trying to justify, like, for example, if you read some of the original James Bond books, they are crazy kinds of racist and sexist. And it's like, yeah, time period, but I'm like, I still think this is pretty offensive, and I wouldn't recommend reading it, even with that
There's a
knowledge in
difference
mind.
between, like, the casual view
Yeah.
versus the aggressive, self-centered view.
Yeah.
James Bond, the author, was obviously very antagonistic towards those kinds of people.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like with the Huckleberry Fin author, it was just the product of the time.
Because, like, for example, I love mythology, Greek mythology especially. Excuse me. I once got in an argument with a woman about Hades. As I point out, like, Hades was probably the nicest of all the Greek gods. And this is a stance I still absolutely stand by. It's like, Hades was awful because he kidnapped and raped his wife. I'm like, well, yes, but Zeus did nothing but rape women. Like, 90% of his relationships were non-consensual. It was normally he turned into something and landed on their private parts and got them pregnant. Okay, I know that's more the Perseus thing, but you get the meaning. The only reason why it was made such a big deal with Hades was because he kidnapped a goddess and forced her to marry him. Plus, I will point out, rape didn't always mean, what it does now.
Yeah, no, like, back then, the term, what we call rape, they would refer as ravishing.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Hades got permission from Zeus.
Who was her father.
Well, in some versions, he's her father.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
There's so many
that's the
versions.
point, is that since Greek mythology doesn't have a canon because of how many times it was retold, all of these versions are technically true to some capacity.
The fact that Aphrodite has like 3 versions of herself that are canon.
Yeah. But she couldn't get over the fact that Hades raped his wife, even though it's like, no, but back then Hades actually didn't do anything wrong. Like, he did everything right, and unlike some people, was loyal to his wife.
I feel like
So it's like, yeah, it's not good by today's standards, but by ancient Greek standards, Hades was actually,
A gentleman.
yeah.
I feel like there should be something where if you're reading like an older piece of literature, there could be like maybe some sort of document or like footnote to be like, by the way, back then this meant this, so that it can.
Or either that, or they attach like, go read To Kill a Mockingbird and shut up.
I mean, the thing is, there are usually, like, a lot of places footnotes and forewords that kind of explain it,
Yeah.
but people just don't read it.
Yeah.
Who reads the forward?
I mean, I'm throwing out there, like, I started reading the webcomic Lore Olympus recently, and I'm like, I'm 100% okay with them making their relationship genuinely romantic, because it's like, by ancient Greek standards,
That's what it was.
it was romantic. So now that they're taking the ancient Greek myth and putting it in modern standings, I don't see any reason why not to give the relationship a modern romantic sensibility. And I mean, sure, Hades falls in love with her on first sight, which, yes, I don't believe in love at first sight, even though I was very attracted to Abby the first time I saw her, but I'm not dumb enough to say it was love at first sight. But, and this is the biggest but in the universe,
oh, rude.
Oh, hi.
yeah. And this is, like I said, biggest butt in the universe. I know while they're falling in love with each other very quickly, I'm like, this is still very romantic and very respectful from a modern sensibility.
And really, people have to give literature and film and all that stuff a break, because
Yeah.
why the fuck would you let why would anyone watch or read something that goes over, that would literally take a year to read or watch because you want to develop it like real life?
And I mean,
Yeah.
yes, you can get away with it in books and even movies with time jumps, but those come with their own set of problems that I will point out. I mean, just as an example, I highly recommend checking out Dominic Noble's channel. He used to go by that username, The Dom, and he did a very comprehensive review about 50 Shades of Grey and how it's not okay. And he points out that, yes, in the epilogue of the last book, it cuts into the future where they have 2 children, or they have 1 child and another on the way, and they seem happy. But as he points out, they have done nothing but argue up to that point. Just because you jump 5 years to a specific scene where they seem happy, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case in real life.
time to be swinging for like forever, Tarzan.
So again, that's just a more immediate example that can come with time jumps, or heck, even in like non-super smutty material like 50 Shades of Grey. If you have two characters that hate each other, then stupidly jump 10 years where they've had 10 years worth of development and are now in love, people are going to have a lot harder time buying into that, you know? Because I don't know. I'm okay with quick relationships in fantasy and in media, as long as it's not they see each other, they're immediately in love and get married, like the Cinderella complaint. As much as I didn't like the new Cinderella movie, I have to give it credit. I appreciate they knew each other enough from a fantasy standpoint. And I'm like, I'm okay with them saying this is love, you know? Whereas in the original cartoon, I'm like, nah, this isn't enough. I mean, I know it's true to the original fairy tale.
But they had a song called "So This Is Love." I'm sorry, I'm being a butt. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
oh, she can have a free pass, but I can't.
Quiet, honey.
I'm sorry. It was louder than
But again, okay, part of the reason why I really didn't like the new Cinderella is because they do fix some issues that have cropped up over the years due to, culture change and whatnot.
Oh, water.
Problem I really have with the new Cinderella is that they fix some issues, but they end up creating new ones that really hold the film back for me, you know? Mm-hmm. Whereas, I really hate the new Sleeping Beauty because while there were
Beauty and the Beast, you mean?
Beauty and the Beast, thank you. Thank you. I really don't like the new Beauty and the Beast because while I feel they put forth a token effort to address some of the issues of Stockholm Syndrome, A, they don't do it very well, and B, the things they do different aren't different enough to justify its existence. Because, like, if you watch the original Cinderella and the new Cinderella side by side, it's like, those weren't the same movie. Well, sort of. I mean, yeah, they're both a Cinderella story, but they both had an identity. I just don't feel like the new Beauty and the Beast had enough of an identity outside of the original, or at the very least, they spent too much time trying to recreate the original. So whenever they try to do something new, rather than feeling like new and inspired, like an updated story for a new generation where we're trying to make it fit in better with our modern sensibilities, it just feels cheap, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was half paying attention because I was thinking of a Maleficent dragon in new CG, and I'm like, I would be down for that. Also, I liked Maleficent. That movie was good.
Okay. I don't like Maleficent, and just because Maleficent is my favorite villain of all time. Uh-huh. Like, not Disney villain. Yeah. When I think of a great villain, I think Maleficent.
It's really good in, like, the original cartoon.
Yeah. So, I just didn't like it because I genuinely felt they were ruining what was already perfect. Again, I have no complaints about people who like it. It's just, for me, I feel much in the same way, kind of like we've talked about why I don't like Super Paper Mario.
Yeah.
It's not that I think it's bad. It's just
everyone has their own opinion.
It just goes against what makes this particular piece of media special to me. So I personally take greater offense to it.
Right. I remember liking the movie when I saw it. I haven't seen it recently. In fact, I don't even remember when I did see it. I think I saw it in theaters, but anyway, that is an episode.
Sorry, I need to cut in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sunshine, go back the way you came. You're actually going to miss an optional but very important cutscene in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We'll be back.
Next time, bye.
We'll go where the cutscene is.
Yeah.